Hey, shalom, 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 shalom. Hope you all doing well. It's a good day. 6th day, preparation day. Hope you all are enjoying yourselves whenever you get this. Find rest in Him, and that He rests in you, and keeping His Sabbath a delight. Amen. So, on my way to post here, I was watching, could just be vanity at the end of the day. I'll raise my hand. It could just be vanity. 2 men going over, do we keep the Sabbath? Do we keep the 7th day Sabbath? One is for keeping the Sabbath. One is not for keeping the Sabbath. The question is, do Christians have to keep the Sabbath? As my wife would always put it, no. Who said this? No, one of my friends. I'm sorry. You don't have to do anything if you want to. You don't really have to, like, oh, the Most High says not to murder. Well, you can murder, you can do whatever you want. Most High says don't steal. Oh, you can do whatever you want. You can steal. You can do whatever you want. You can commit adultery, even though the Most High says not to. The 4th commandment, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. So, people can kind of go in the court of, well, I do whatever I want. But is that honoring Him? Is that bringing reverence to His name? Is that fearing the Most High? By saying, do without will, basically. Do as I please. So, the comment was, are you saved by the works of the law? Well, the simple answer is no. Because it is impossible to please the Most High without faith. All the great men of the Bible, of the scriptures, Enoch, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Isaac, Jacob, David, and many others, the Son of Man himself, the Messiah, Paul, Peter, Yehukanan or John the Immerser. What did all these men have in common? All these men had in common 2 very distinct and unambiguous trait to them. And that trait is they believed in the Most High. They believed in the Most High. But what they also did is that their belief exercised obedience. Right? Their belief exercised obedience. So when it does say in Genesis 17, when the Most High says, and God believed in Elohim, or believed in God, and it reckoned him for righteousness. Well, we would have to ask and examine, what was Abraham doing in order to have that remark made about him? He believed in the Most High, and it was reckoned to him for righteousness. Well, that's quite significant. Would you agree? Noah. What was Noah doing? Well, Noah found grace in the eyes of the Most High. Therefore, Noah believed in the Most High. And then, what Noah also did, that other books kind of go over, is that Noah was actually a proclaimer, a teacher, a prophet, and proclaimed righteousness, proclaimed the word of the Most High. So his belief exercised obedience enough to build such an ark. Right? Moses had enough faith to listen to the call of the Most High and tell the king of the world at the time, let my people go and let us serve the Most High and have a feast in the wilderness. Moses had enough faith, right, that he would be spared and protected during those trials and tribulations, right? The Son of Man believed in the Most High enough to come in the flesh and show people what righteousness is. And what was the Son of the Most High known for? What was his token? What was his sign? What was he remembered for? Being unblemished, being sinless, being righteous, being obedient. He learned obedience through his suffering. And we would have to walk even as he walked. Therefore, there is some harsh truths to these matters, brothers and sisters of Christ. Do we have to keep the Sabbath? Well, you can fall into two camps. You can say, no, I do what I want. I do it as I please, and God still loves me. Jesus still loves me. But I don't want to keep the Sabbath. We don't have to do that. Okay. You read John 14:21. It says, I'm paraphrasing. It says, he that keepeth my word, right? The one that keeps the Messiah's word is him that loves Christ, is that loves the Messiah. How does he know that I love him? If I keep his word. That's the only way to know. That's the Messiah's love language, is obedience. And then he further explains in verses 23 and 24 that it's not his words that he speaks, but it's the Father's. Well, what did the Father speak? Well, the Father spoke of old. What people would now say that you don't have to open, you don't have to read, you don't have to listen to, because it's done away with. You don't have to read the law of Moses. You don't have to read Kings and Chronicles. You don't have to read Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. You don't have to read those books. You don't have to read Ezra and Nehemiah. It's all about the New Testament, guys. Okay. Well, that's not what the Son of the Most High said, though. You know, and it's always like, even Christ himself is like, you know, if you don't believe me, believe the works. Don't take my word for it. Just believe what I do. So, do we have to keep his commandments? I want you guys to really think about this. If we love, how do we love the Most High? And how do we love the Son? There's only two things. We have to have faith, but we also, through faith, need to be obedient to what they say. And if we can't do that, do we really love them? We can say all day, yeah, Jesus loves me. But how do I show that I love him? You know? So do we have to keep the Sabbath? Again, people can just say, we don't have to. We don't have to do those laws anymore. It's done away with. Okay. Then I would then beg, do you really love him? Do you really love the Father? Do you really love the one who died for you? Would be my next question. And if you love him, if you love the Father, if you love the one who died for you, you'll believe in him, but you'll also obey what he said. And I think that's the simplest way to put it. There's no like semantics of Sabbath and, you know, all this other stuff. No. If we love him, we will be obedient to what he ordained. And if people want to know what he ordained, we have to go into what people, or what a lot of people in religion say you don't have to read. And brothers and sisters, there's a really good reason why people do say you don't have to read it anymore. It's because there's truth in it. Alright? Alright, I'm about to hit the highway. It's about to get loud in this car. Peace and blessings to you all. Have a great 6-day prep, 7th-day rest. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Shalom.